All right, Chevron just out with its quarterly results. Let's take a look at those numbers. It looks like the earnings came in at $2.18 a share, came in on revenue of $47.6 billion. That revenue number slightly below consensus of $48.1 billion. Chevron's talking about the decline in earnings from a year ago and said that that stems largely from lower income in upstream and downstream equity affiliates, lower margins in product sales, and what they're calling unfavorable swings in tax items and foreign exchange effects. Now, if you're looking at the numbers from a quarter over quarter, it's actually 6% higher than the last quarter because oil prices were relatively flat over that period of time. You know, oil prices have come down significantly, but that didn't really start until April after we saw the end of this quarter. They talked about how their volume was up. That's because of Kazakhstan in large part, also some other production that they've done in the Gulf and in the Permian Basin. The big point that they're trying to make, I did speak with Mike Wirth, the CEO of Chevron, the big point that they're trying to make, let's see how that stock trades. Right now it's up by about a quarter of a percentage point, is that they are really pushing a lot in terms of givebacks to shareholders. For the quarter, that first quarter, $7 billion, $4 billion of that came in share buybacks, another $3 billion came in the dividend, and they point out that that's the 12th quarter in a row of over $5 billion. And guys, this is pretty interesting, actually. They also bought 2 billion shares of Hess in the open market. Remember, they have that bid out for Hess. That's about 5% of the shares that were available in the open market over the first quarter. And that's because those Hess shares were trading at a steep discount to the deal price. The Wall Street's still not thinking that that deal is going to get done. Chevron stepped in, and Mike Wirth says, we're convinced this deal will close. This is essentially like buying back our own stock once that deal closed, and we can do it at a cheaper price than the deal itself. So that's a pretty interesting move. A lot of people still waiting to see what happens with the Hess deal, if they can go ahead with that. They also said that they're going to be repurchasing shares this year at the lower end of the guidance that they had given for the share buyback range. And that's because of low oil prices. If the oil price had moved up, or if it does move up, it would be closer to the high end of that. But they were buying at the low end of their guidance because that's their cash flow, just based on how much they're hearing from some of those things. Again, Chevron shares this morning up by about 38 cents on this news.